Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the time might be. Let's talk roof cleaning. Let's talk roof cleaning, moss removal, roof moss, algae, lichen or lichen, and any other detritus that is on your roof tiles that's brought you to click a link and listen to me talking about roof cleaning. Why me? Well, um, there are a lot of companies that clean roofs. What I want to do is tell you how it came about, how roof cleaning in the UK, the way we do it, came about. I had the opportunity in 1992 to go and live and work in Australia, in Sydney, on the northern beaches in Sydney, on a 3-year contract to help this company in a particular way, increase their business. The children were the right age, quite young. So off I went. Lovely. What a great opportunity. And it was fantastic. I mean, it's obviously a great place as well. Now, I knew why I was going there. And when I got there and had my orientation, in the various departments of the company, I couldn't believe how big a business roof cleaning, the way they do it, the way it was being done, the only way it's being done on concrete roof tiles. I couldn't believe the size, not of his company, the guy that I went to help for 3 years, but of the business generally. It was huge, massive. This was 1992. After about 6 months, I mean, and why they do it. There's very good reasons for why they do it, which is exactly why I replicated it all the way back when I got home to the UK in 1995. I replicated, but with a product reformulated for the UK climate, the way they do it, the proper way that's good for the roof tiles. So in 19, I'd been there about 6 months, and I phoned my dad up and said, "Dad, do me a favour." And I said, "Listen, Dad, hurry up. This cost me £1 a minute." Right? There was 1992. It's different. There weren't Skype. There wasn't any of that. What I'm doing now, talking to you this way. I wish I had been. Anyway, I phoned him up. I said, "Hurry up." I said, "I want you to run outside, have a look up on your rooftop, and up and down the road, and tell me, is there any moss on the roof tiles?" I didn't have a clue. Why would I? And I'll never forget. I'll never forget what he said to me. He lived in a village, a leafy village, lovely. He'd come back early when I bought it. I said, "Well," he said, "we got a carpet up on our roof. We got a carpet of moss." I went, "Okay, that'll do for me. Thank you very much." So in between then, I'd only been there 6 months then, and when I got home towards the end of 1994, I contacted paint chemists in the UK and everybody else, machinery that I needed, tip sizes, and organised everything so that when I landed and got over the jet lag from Australia, I had appointments to go and see people. I'll cut a long story short. You don't know hear all this waffling. I'll cut a long story short. The very first job that I did, I went cold calling. A bit, but I mean, the way that we do it today, and back in 1995 when I started, it wasn't done. It was not done this way. People didn't clean moss off of roofs. They just didn't bother, which is, you know. But now it's quite a big business. Roof cleaning is just roof cleaning. Okay, I wouldn't bother with that. There's no point. I would not bother. It'd just grow back. So the very first job I done was in a little village just outside of Owlsbury in Buckinghamshire, a place called Aston Clinton. And there was this horseshoe, a semicircle area turning with 23 bungalows in it. So I just knocked on the doors and said, what I'd been up to. I'd been in Australia for 3 years, and I showed people. I had nothing from England. I showed people, what the companies do over there and why. More importantly, why. A chap said, "Okay, I'll be your guinea pig, not a problem." So and it was done for less than cost, because I absolutely knew, call it intuition or whatever, I absolutely knew that one of those other 23 bungalows would say, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." So the roof was cleaned. The roof was biocided. The loose pointing and everything else that happens when you're cleaning a roof, or not necessarily, but if there is cracked tiles, missing tiles, slip tiles, everything was put right. This is a way to do it properly. This is the roof of a house, and it's got a big job to do, moss or no moss, and so it needs to be in good shape. The roof was cleaned, the pointing, the rebedding, the repointing was carried out, a biocide was applied, and a couple of days later, an anthracite grey was applied, 2 coats, by an airless spray unit, and it absolutely transformed this place, transformed it. And the neighbours, you know, I mean, they were mostly sort of retired, were just watching, you know. Most days it was nice and sunny. They was out watching this over a 2-day period, 2 or 3 day period. One of their neighbours' properties be absolutely transformed. They were probably 25 years old. I don't know the original colour, because when you pressure clean a concrete roof tile, it would just, I mean, it's Portland cement. That's what it is. It's Portland cement. There's no colour left once you clean it. And it's exposed. All the protective coatings that are put on when roof tiles are manufactured, when they get to the end and they're still in their moulds, they've got their colour pigments in there. There's this protective clear coating is applied primarily to protect the tiles from environmental pollution. Well, the weather soon beats all that out of it, and that hello moss, you know, and that's what happens there. So the people come along, you know, and they said, "Oh, can I have a terracotta roof? Can I?" And one lady wanted a green roof, a nice green, a Brunswick green it was called, and 9 other bungalows in that area, that horseshoe as I call it, had their roofs done. And I thought, right, I'm onto something here. So in the end, I had to take offices and a warehouse, and after about 12 months, at that time, there was about 2,100 litres every week being delivered. Such was the popularity of it. The Royal Mail would come into the office at 4 o'clock and pick up a sack full of the mail shots that we sent out, and the phone would ring and people would say, "I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that." So, you know, we would go out, provide quotes for people, and they would say, "Really? Is that all for that?" Yeah, wow. And every now and again, just to prove points, and we would film all this sort of thing, once the job was done, we'd let it, you know, we'd leave it, go back a week later, and I would say to an operative, to a tradesman, "Right, I'll meet you outside this job that we done last week. I want you to just, you know, fill up a watering can and run it over the tiles. Just run it down from the top as if it's raining." And the rain would bead and leave, just like on a polished car. Same. It will bead, run off the roof into moss-free gutters and downpipes, because they're always cleaned out. You can see what's in a gutter, but you can't see what's in a downpipe, and you don't want that backing up with moss, you know. You just don't, because that could end up in the loft space and all sorts of things. So that's how it all started. And you know, Kent becomes Surrey, and you know, we work in the areas today, but obviously we've just grown from Kent. We moved up and across slightly. Kent, certainly London, Surrey, Berkshire, Buckinghamshire, Essex, and there's a lot of crews on the road doing, you know, how we clean roofs. You know, I've got other videos out on the web. I've got a lot of websites in the counties and towns and everything else. I think there's probably 24 websites out there you know, because we're local as well as, you know, although we cover a big area, we're local as well. And there's a lot of websites out there with me saying, look, if you just want to clean the moss off of your roof tiles, if that's all you're looking to do, don't bother. Don't waste your money. What for? Why would you do that? Because, you know, okay, if you're going to move house and you want to tidy it up a bit and so, you know, it looks all right. I don't know. Some people like moss on the roofs. But if you don't, and you know, prepare your house for sale, fine. But this is the roof of your house. And those roof tiles, the manufacturers, most manufacturers will say there's a 60-year lifespan, you know. That's okay. The way we do it, we extend that because, and after I finished yakking on, which won't be for much longer, it won't, there's a link that I'd like to click below. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. Click that and it will take you to, it's not a big read, it's a short read, and it tells you a little bit more about why we do what we do and why it's good for the tiles. But there's also an area where you can see it's step by step exactly how it's done, and also different colours. There's a generic house there, and you click coloured buttons, the 7 most popular coloured buttons that customers have chosen over the many years that we've been, since 95, have been doing it. And this generic house, the roof changes colours, just to give you an idea of how you could look at your home, you know, and you look and perhaps you say, oh, you know, maybe you've got grey aluminium windows, UPVC windows, for example, rendering of a certain type. But the roof is just, you know, it's a huge area. It's got a very important job to do. I keep saying that, which is why we clean roofs how we do. We don't really just clean roofs and that's it, you know. We don't compete with the man and van. We don't. I'm not denigrating the man in the van. I'm not denigrating any other company that cleans roofs. What I'm doing is denigrating the process. I think it's pointless. Okay, it's a nuisance. The moss falls down, rolls over onto the patio, you've got to sweep it up. That could be dangerous in the winter with an older person because, you know, or when it's rain, because the moss can become slippery. So it does need, it's just a bit of a nuisance, but there's loads of gutter cleaning companies out there. Get them round once a year, you know. But your roof is, when we've cleaned the roof, made the repairs to the roof and carried out the whole cycle of what we do, you know, culminating in either a clear or a colour-pigmented protective coating, it's quite stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I mean, we don't do it now. I did when I first started. I photographed that very first house that we did in Aston Clinton, a lovely bungalow. And I took a photograph of it before, obviously, and after. And then I would say to people, you know, people would phone up and say, you know, come and give me a quote for what you do. I didn't know you could do it. I got your mailer thing this morning, that's come through. Can I have a terracotta colour roof? Yeah, of course you can. Not a problem. So, and I would show them a photograph and say, look, if this bungalow, and it was the one in Aston Clinton, if this bungalow was in your street, this was before it was done, was in your street, how much would that be worth? And of course people have a clue and they would say, that much. Okay, just curious. Then I'd be going around and, you know, measuring and explaining what's what, looking at access points and, you know, so I can prepare an accurate quote for them. I don't know, probably half hour past or something like that, 45 minutes sometimes you get chatting, don't you? You can imagine I do anyway, but, you know, it's fun. And then before, and then I would show the photograph again of that bungalow. I'd say, listen, just out of curiosity, what if this bungalow, and it's now got an anthracite grey roof, was in your street, what would that be worth? And they don't even recognise it. And they'd say, and it was always 15, 20, 25 grand more. Seriously. This is not a sales pitch, not at all. I'm just saying. The perceived value of a property with its roof properly cleaned, repaired, and with the right protective coating, colour, whether it's clear or colour pigmented put on, is an amazing transformation for a home. You know, when you think of all the various things that we do, take our time over our homes, and we think, right, I want that colour for that, and that colour for that, and that shade for that, and this and that. And all the while, some people say, "I'll just get that moss off the roof, can you?" What's the point? It will grow back in a very short space of time because there's absolutely no protection on it once it's been cleaned off anyway. Nothing, gone. And it will just come back. And the few £100 or whatever, I don't know, however much, that someone wants for using your water to clean that stuff off, you know, if you keep doing that, what's the point? Just get, you know. Anyway, that I just wanted to record that. My name's Ronnie, by the way. Roof cleaning and coating. And click the link below, please. Click the link below in the description box if this is on YouTube. If it's elsewhere, there will be a link to click. It is a short read. It's not salesy. Very informative, but that generic house where you can click the colour buttons and change this roof tiles colour, it's very clever. You can have a look at that. Sorry about that, I'm outside. I'm on location, as they say. And also there's a step-by-step, I call it a slideshow. Click, 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 click. Here's the house, here's the machinery, there's the guys cleaning, 1, 2, all the way through, and you can see exactly how it's done. And once you've done that, and if you think to yourself, I wouldn't mind finding out, you know, what the quote would be for my property, there's telephone numbers and forms all over the place, you know. So I just want to say thank you very much. If you've listened to all of this, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I mean, I go on about it because I say back in 1995, this wasn't done. People didn't clean moss from roofs. They didn't do it. I spawned an industry. I did. I know I did. All sorts of things happens. Just finally, and just how good the process is that we do to this day. Seaboard, and this was down in southeast England. But this was, you know, different. It was a big Seaboard were one of the big regional electricity companies before the internet and everything else. And your electricity bill come through in a brown envelope, and you had to pay it. And inside the Seaboard bills, I mean, they're huge, thousands of customers. There would always be some sort of offer. Well, their guy come round to my offices, spoke to me and said, "I love what you do. I keep seeing your vans." So, okay. Cut a long story short, every quarter, bang, thousands of leaflets went into the Seaboard envelope. Now, there was a lot of research. They carried out, rather Seaboard carried out a tremendous amount of due diligence on our service before they signed it off and went, "Yep, welcome aboard. We'll market that for you." It just loved it. And then we shared a stage 1 year at the London Ideal Home Exhibition. And I had to carry up, I got the train up and I had to carry up a load of moss in a plastic bag. That could have been misconstrued. But I got into Earl's Court, no problem at all, with a bunch of what looked like weed in a big plastic bag. Okay, so we do things properly. Hope this has been helpful, and thanks for watching. I wish you well, take care, and obviously stay safe, current times. And you can thank me later. All right, all the very best. I'll see you. Bye-bye.